episode 7 of EDspresso Café. We are here today with Roché Buckle. Hi, Roché. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Irene. Nice to be here with you.
Roché is a drama teacher, Parklands, grade 1 to 6, right?
That's
but
right.
Roché is also a newly minted Google Innovator. So, and Roché, this is where you have to tell me, people don't really associate drama teachers with techie people, with innovators, with, Google innovators. What's the story here?
No, I know. When I first started at Parklands 5 years ago and I received my iPad and they said to me, oh, we integrate technology into our lessons here. I said, no, I don't need this iPad because we perform, we act. And well, little did I know, here I sit, a Google trainer and innovator 5 years later. But I soon discovered that integrating technology into the class was magnificent because the learners could collaborate on Google Docs and they never lost their scripts and they could highlight things and they could record themselves and it just opened up a whole new world to me. But it also showed me that I could engage and encourage learners who didn't usually want to perform and participate in drama to do other things. And so it became a really useful skill to me. But then I discovered that everything I teach them in drama relating to presentation skills, they would forget when they walked out the door, and they didn't apply it to the other lessons.
Every other teacher is right, because we all teaching them in the next week. Have you never heard this before, right?
Exactly. I thought if only they used the skills that I gave them for their orals, for the presentations of their projects, for their other recordings.
Exactly. Because those are such important skills, right? Knowing how to present, how to actually in every subject, really.
And even just saying hello to your mom's best friend.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I was just saying, even saying hello to your mom's best friend at Woolies, not getting nervous and shy to do it.
Exactly. How you present yourself in the world. I think these are life skills. They are so important. And I know, obviously, you think so too, and you feel very strongly that these skills must be embedded in every subject. That led to your innovator project, actually.
Yes, my innovator project. Yeah. So when you decide on being part of the innovator group, you have to present a problem, and they say that you have to fall in love with your problem first, and then go through the process of finding the solution. So my problem was easy. My question was, how might we use dramatic skills in everyday teaching? So I had to think about how I would translate what I teach in my class to be accessible to all teachers so that they were able to use and apply the skills that I taught the learners in drama to their other subjects, and that we all were speaking the same language and giving the same authentic feedback so that the learners understood where they stood, and that it could be applied across all subjects.
I love that. I think such an important life skill, like I said, knowing how to present yourself. But I also think that we as teachers talk from the same, because we do these skills and often we repeat skills in our different subjects, but we don't talk about it between us, right? So for the kids to have the same communicator to them in every subject, and for you to hone those skills even when you're in the geography class and when you're in the history class, right? I love that. Yeah, exactly. So then you created these apps, right? Tell us a little bit about that, your apps that you created.
Yeah, so in order to bring the message across to the teachers, I created an app using Glide app called Dramatic Technique. And that Glide app covers voice modulation, which is pitch, pace, pause, projection, inflection, and tone. My children can say that. They know exactly. And those are essential tools to keep your audience engaged. It also covers stage presentation techniques and content tips. And when I created these apps, then I recorded voice and video examples too. So they're included in the app, and that then ensured everyone
here,
understands the
right?
technique.
Here
So
where
if you
it
click on
says voice.
that one, yes. And then there are the modulation. So if you click on any one of those, you'll see that there is a voice note, and you're able to listen to it.
Right.
So then everyone who has the app can apply it correctly.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so that you were able to use all of the different technologies, video and
yes,
voice notes
so
and things in that. Now they have something to hold on to, right? So they don't forget because you didn't see them. And this wasn't the only, this is for the senior kids, right?
Yes,
and then
also what I did was, yeah, but with that one too, I included recording tips, because that became very, very important last year when we were online. And the learners really needed to know that they mustn't sort of shout into their mic or keep the mic too far away from each other. So that was important. And also on the Dramatic Technique app, I have included a rubric, because that then will show the teachers exactly what we are referring to, so that then we can give that authentic feedback and all speak the same language. So I used a basic English oral rubric, and then I used that too. And there's also tips on how to stand when you're presenting, so that you can use your presence. And as the need arose, I included, yes, those advert tips and the interview tips, because learners needed to do that for other subjects. So I saw what was needed.
And I think, look, if 2020 taught us anything, it is you need to know how to present yourself online, right? You need to know how to record yourself. You need to know all of these things. So I think this is absolutely fabulous that you created this.
And this app can be saved as a bookmark to any device. So you can refer to it at any time, which I think is lovely. And I can always add to it. If there's something else that somebody wants to be added to the app, I can do that too.
Right. Okay. Oh, sorry. I know this is my screen that does all of that if I go through the screen sharing, sorry. And but you also had another app for the littlies, didn't you?
I did. Once we hit lockdown and we were sort of into week 4 and there was sort of no idea when we would go back, I thought, well, there's so many parents at home that don't actually know what to do with their children. And so I created my Drama Fun app. And with that app, I sprung a green screen up in
my lounge. Wrong button.
All right. I'll just carry on talking and you sort out the technical things.
I'm going to get to your little app there.
So I was just saying, I strung this green screen up in my lounge, and I recorded poetry. And for the learners, I made videos of poems with lots of action and movement. I included some music in the app as well, and some ideas of how to use props to act out things. Oh yes, that's the shy fish video. I can see it there on the screen.
So you have a little green screen that you made this with, Roché?
Yes. I just had a big piece of green fabric, and I strung a washing line across my lounge, popped it on, and a tripod, and here we go. It was quite exciting, really.
It must have been an interesting time in lockdown in your home.
It was fantastic. It really was. I don't know what my neighbors thought about what was going on in my house. But when I shared this app I shared it online, and then I shared it with some friends, and the audience just grew, and the little ones were learning dramatic techniques without even knowing it and having fun at the same time. And because the app was so successful, Glide Apps then used it as a template on their screen, and so I know, and so then it reached a global audience. Yeah, and so I had a man from Beijing who sent me a message to say that his daughters can't get enough of it, and can I please create one for adults so that they can de-stress as well. So that was just amazing for me. And I mean, it's an app that anyone can use. I think even ECD teachers would thrive using this, because they can get all sorts of ideas to do with their little ones.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to share this far and wide. I've got it on the screen here. This is the link for the junior, for the little ones with the action poems, and This one over here, this is the link for the senior one, but I will also, with the drama techniques and the pitch and the intonation and all of that, but I'll also link it in the description below. So if you'd like to go back and have a look at Roché's creations, it is just brilliant. And they just work on a phone. You just download for free. Amazing.
Yep, it's amazing.
And yeah, so you then had this guy from Beijing, right? And then you went into this global project. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. Yeah, so our folk tales project, that also reached the global audience, which was extremely exciting for us. My culture team, which consists of marvelous art and music teachers, and for this project, particularly an EDspresso teacher, we worked together on a project which was designed to foster creativity and passion and empathy and inquiry in our learners through collaborating on this project. And we're so passionate about our own subjects that we couldn't, we couldn't just help ourselves. So we taught the content to the learners. So in art, they learned about watercolor techniques, and I taught them about storytelling techniques, and they learned about rhythms and different instruments, and they also then learned their vocabulary. And then we asked the learners the driving question, which was, what do they think the best method is of preserving folk tales? And so they were given the choice of how to depict this. And by being given the choice, they then felt that their voice was being heard. And we also said to them that they can choose any folk tale they like, or they can create their own one. And the learners then took it upon themselves.
I want to tell people that they must go to Purple ZA and have a look at your story. I think it will be up in the next day or two, where you've shared all of the whole kind of PBL, how you created it from start to finish, what your students created. It's just amazing. You have to see what Roché did there. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, with my other teachers too. I mean, we all work together so beautifully, and we enjoy working together so much. But so the learners, they felt connected to the project because they had that content first, and then because they were working in groups, they were all contributing to the ideas and creating it at the end. And we had the most fantastic things. Some of them chose to perform their folktale and use some music as background music. Some of them did time-lapse work of their illustrations and included some sound effects. Others translated their folk tale. So it was really marvelous, and the learners were engaged throughout the process, and they really felt that they owned their project and they were proud of what they did. And so then we decided, well, we needed to have an authentic audience and show this to other people. And so I asked the Google community if there's anybody that wanted to collaborate and have a look at these projects, and there were 2 schools from America that we then shared our site with them, and they gave us feedback using Flipgrid and Sheets, which was incredible for our learners, because then they got this authentic feedback from children, another country,
in another country.
Yes.
And how cool is that they get to share like our South African stories with a global audience, which is just brilliant. Absolutely. I just love that. And how was the feedback that they got from the other schools?
They loved hearing because obviously those children never heard these stories before. So for some of them, the feedback was, oh, that was so lovely, I enjoyed listening to it. And others became quite critical and said, well, I think that you could have spoken a little bit slower over here. And I couldn't quite see what was going on. The music was a bit loud. Very honest, very honest.
But actually, isn't that lovely that they get authentic feedback? Because that's all growth mindset thing, isn't it? That you don't want to just say, listen, you stand up there, perform your thing, we give you a mark, boom, you're judged, go on with your life. It is kind of, oh, you could do this again, and then speak a little slower. I love that. I love that they get to reflect on what they're doing and seeing how they can improve continuously. Love that.
Yes, and our learners went back thinking, right, next time I do this, I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that and I'm going to work a little bit hard on that. And it's fantastic because they felt empowered, they learned new skills, and us as educators learned new skills too, which was just marvelous for us, really exciting.
Yes. Oh, that is brilliant. I love that. I really love what you did there. I can't wait to see what you come up with, because you're just amazing. The things that you do. In fact, you probably have some up your sleeve. Is there a sneak peek you give me?
Yeah, absolutely. We've just finished a project, an animation project, where we brought clay sculptures to life. And so our next project that we're going to embark on next quarter is a cross-curricular project, which even involves history and science. And we're going to 3D print little puppet heads that are going to become farmers, and they're going to be doing interviews and sort of reflecting on how COVID has impacted their industry. So that's going to be a very, very exciting project.
Wow.
I can't wait to see how that turns out.
I can't wait to see it either. This is so exciting. We'll have to have you back. I can't wait to see. You'll share, won't you, with us exactly how that project worked out. I can't wait to see what you come up with and how that turns out and what you do in future. And yeah, as I said, everybody go and look at the site, go and look at Roché's story and how she does it in her class. And her apps will be linked below in the description as well. It was so great talking to you. So next week, we are chatting on Tuesday next week, we're talking to Robert Faltermeyer about place-based learning. And I hope that you guys can join us for that as well. Until then, inspired by Roché, keep innovating.
Yep, and keep improvising and communicating.
Lovely. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.